And welcome back to the show. Well, you know how when you go into a restaurant bathroom, there's a sign that says employees must wash their hands? Well, do we have that sign? We must have a sign somewhere of that. Sure, there it is. That's actually right in the Newsmax newsroom. Notice employees must wash hands before returning to work. Well, there's a reason those signs are there because of an FDA regulation, that's in restaurants, of course, reminding employees they have to wash their hands. I think we all know why the FDA wants those signs in restaurants. Today, freshman Senator Thom Tillis is a Republican. He told the Bipartisan Policy Center that he does not support regulation like that on eateries across the country. Here's why in his own poignant words.
We were talking about certain regulations where I felt like maybe you should allow businesses to opt out. We were sitting back at a table that was near the restrooms, and one of the employees just came out. She said, for example, don't you believe that this regulation that requires this gentleman to wash his hands before he serves your food is important, should be on the books? As a matter of fact, I think it's one that I can illustrate the point. I said, I don't have any problem with Starbucks if they choose to opt out of this policy, as long as they post a sign that says, we don't require our employees to wash their hands after leaving the restroom. The market will take care of that.
Well, I know where I'm not getting my coffee from tomorrow if Starbucks actually did go ahead with that.
They would
Of course,
not do that.
They would not do that, of course, Rick Unger. So now, he does bring up an interesting point, however, regarding regulation. When is government regulation too much? Is the FDA overstepping their bounds? Carrie, let's start with you.
Well, okay, I think in this case, this is disgusting, and they should have to wash their hands, because that's a public health issue. And that's, you know, when it comes down to something that could affect others, their health, their safety, I'm all for that. There is, however, way too much mindless regulation. So there's a huge thing. It's called occupational licensing. It was in Obama's budget and in Paul Ryan's budget. It really affects poverty in terms of poor people being able to create businesses.
It's called occupational licensing?
Yeah, yeah.
But not like occupied, like it's occupied.
No.
Just so we're clear on the...
Right. No, it's like starting a business.
My favorite part of this was all he really did was replace one regulation with another. Instead of the government telling them they have to post a sign that says employees must wash their hands, he wants the government to tell them to post a sign saying employees don't have to wash their hands. What an idiot.
So you're saying that the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing?
Yeah, thank you. Very nicely put. That was a vivacious line you just gave us.
Well, thank you. Vivacious?
Yeah, I made it up.
He's going to Cray Cray Town to try to appeal to his non-government constituency. We need the FDA. They look at the food we eat. You know, part of the reason we originally established a government is so that we can take care of the public health. Come on.
No, I agree.
I mean, this is just
like there are some things that are really mindless. So, for example, occupational licensing. If a teacher is registered in North Carolina and wants to move to California, they have to go through a whole 2-year licensing process, or it's just this ridiculous thing. And a lot of veterans, like wives of veterans, it's their spouses, they end up not even working because the licensing process is so onerous. So there are some things that are just reasonable and on their face that we can do away with. There's some things that are just so common sense that you need to wash your hands.
But Rick, what if Ebola comes back and then no one's washing their hands in restaurants and before you know it, we're all dead? I mean, that's something that we really need to consider.
Well, we can put another sign up. Ebola served in this restaurant.
And health is very different than licenses for teachers or different professionals. I mean, our health is very, I mean, I just can't even believe we're talking about this.
Do you wash your hands after you?
Absolutely.
Every time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you sure? Because no, I don't want to go.
No, I'm going to say, I'm about a 90%er, I got to admit. Just sometimes, there's no paper towels. I'm not going to go out of my way. Half the time there's no paper towels in these things. So I'll just be like, yeah, well, and I use the Purell that I keep in my bag, and
this is so much more than we need to know about you.
I'm just being transparent.
So much more.
You know, that's that.
Senator Tillis, right? I want to make sure everybody watching knows that was Senator Tillis, Republican of what state?
South Carolina, I believe.
Good for you. North Carolina.
Good for you,
North Carolina. That's right. But there was an entire Seinfeld episode based on this.
Yes, there was.
Where he saw Poppy.
Poppy.
Right?
That's
right. Poppy came out of the real bathroom, the number 2.
Well, no, Jerry watched him.
And Jerry saw it, and then he made an entire dish for him, and then Jerry wouldn't eat it.
But your duck is so succulent.
And Jerry wouldn't eat it. So I think the bottom line about this is that everything can go back to Seinfeld in some way, shape, or form.
There's no question about it.
You know, especially in restaurants. In New York City, you always hear horror stories about rats in restaurants and feces in restaurants and hairs
This is
and all kinds of
degenerating
stuff.
to the point of I can't
we,
watch
you
it.
know, when it comes to health, regulation is imperative.
That's true, and you know, we thank everybody that's watching in the East right now because it's obviously around dinner time, and I'm sure you really enjoyed that
So
segment.
we know that you don't wash your hands. We
No,
know
I
what
didn't say
kind
I
of
didn't
restaurants
wash my
you
hands.
go
I'm a
to.
Virgo, so I'm like very clean.
84% of the time is when
84,
I.
it's going
obsessed.
down now.
This has
It
been
was
the
90.
best case for government regulation. I couldn't do better if I tried.
See, I made Tillis's argument.
All of you have made the case why we need
I'll
our
bet
government.
you I'm around the
You
American
guys
average.
need a nanny state.
You give people sodium pentothal, I guarantee you that number's 84%. We got to go to break. I got the last word on this. Coming up next, political potluck, and this is the Daily Wrap, and it's only on Newsmax TV.
Did you wash your hands before that potluck?